Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
The story of Christianity in Uganda is far more than the arrival of a new religion. It is a remarkable account of diplomacy, political intrigue, cultural transformation, European competition, and extraordinary courage. Although Christianity reached Uganda later than many other African regions, it quickly took root and grew into one of the continent's most influential Christian communities. The journey begins in the 19th century within the powerful Buganda kingdom. Long before Christian missionaries arrived, Arab merchants had introduced Islam to the royal court through trade and diplomacy. At the center of the kingdom stood Kabaka Mutesa I, a skilled and intelligent ruler who carefully balanced relationships with foreign powers. As Egyptian influence expanded southward along the Nile, Mutesa searched for new allies who could help protect Buganda's independence. A turning point came in 1875 when British explorer Henry Morton Stanley visited the king's court. During their meeting, Stanley observed Mutesa's fascination with Western education, technology, and literacy. Before leaving Buganda, Stanley wrote a famous letter to Britain describing the king's desire for missionaries, teachers, doctors, and skilled craftsmen to come to his kingdom. The appeal attracted widespread attention and opened the door for Christian missions. The response arrived in two major phases, bringing not only different Christian traditions but also the political rivalry between Europeans' great powers. The first missionaries to arrive were Protestants from Britain's Church Missionary Society. Shergold Smith and Reverend C.T. Wilson reached Buganda on June 26, 1877. They were later joined by Alexander Mackay, a Scottish missionary whose practical skills and dedication left a lasting impact. Mackay introduced a printing press, promoted literacy, and helped translate portions of scripture into local languages, making Christian teachings more accessible to the people. 2 years later, in 1879, Catholic missionaries followed. Members of the French Missionaries of Africa, widely known as the White Fathers, landed at Chigungu near present-day Entebbe before establishing their mission at Rubaga. Among the leaders were Father Simeon Lourdel, affectionately known as Mapeera, and Brother Amans, who played important roles in spreading the Catholic faith throughout Buganda. As the missions expanded, many Baganda began associating each Christian group with the European nation from which it originated. Protestants became known as the Bagereza, reflecting their British connections, while the Catholics were called the Bafaranza because of their French roots. Competition between the two missions soon extended beyond religion into politics, as each sought greater influence within the royal court. The situation changed dramatically after the death of Kabaka Mutesa I in 1884. His son Kabaka Mwanga II ascended the throne while still very young. Now, unlike his father, Mwanga viewed the growing influence of Christianity with increasing suspicion. He became convinced that foreign missionaries and their converts threatened both his authority and the independence of the kingdom. His concerns intensified as Christian pages at the palace openly declared that their highest reality belonged to God rather than the king. Now, before we get into what Kabaka Mutesa II did, let me take you back into what the father, Kabaka Mutesa I, did. Long before the famous Christian Martyrs of 1886, another group of believers had already paid the ultimate price. Between 1874 and 1877, during the reign of Kabaka Mutesa I, Islam had taken root in the kingdom of Buganda, and many young royal pages had embraced a new faith. One day, the king ordered food to be prepared by his royal chefs, but the Muslim pages refused to eat the meat. Now, according to Islamic law, the animals had not been slaughtered in the halal manner, and the chefs themselves were uncircumcised, making the meat religiously unacceptable to the converts. What the young men saw as obedience to God, the king saw as defiance of his absolute authority. In Buganda, a subject's loyalty to the Kabaka was expected to be unquestioning. Their refusal was interpreted not simply as a religious choice, but as an act of rebellion against the throne. Enraged, Kabaka Mutesa I ordered the young Muslim converts to be marched to Namugongo, where they were executed by burning. Their death became one of the earliest recorded religious persecutions in Uganda, foreshadowing the even more widely remembered execution of the Christian martyrs under Kabaka Mwanga II in 1886. In 1885, when Kabaka Mwanga II ordered the execution of James Hannington, the Anglican bishop of Eastern Equatorial Africa, who was approaching Uganda from the eastern route, the king believed the bishop's arrival possessed a political and military threat. What followed was the most horrific happening in the history of Ugandan faith. The Lord's Prayer created a spark that got dozens of Christian converts arrested. On arrest, they were chained with big wooden chains and asked to walk for over 50 kilometers under serious torture and beating. Some who failed to walk were dragged on their backs from Munyonyo to Namugongo, and it is from this incident that the place was called Namugongo. In Uganda, a back is called Omugongo, and Namugongo means on their backs. Many people who saw the Christians being pulled said, Vaze Namugongo, meaning they have come using their backs. On arrival, they were placed in prison. Now, this is the command of execution, and this is his chamber, where all the tools used for the execution were kept, including alcohol, that they used to keep themselves confident and unsober during the process. As you see, the tools would be sharpened for over 4 days before carrying out the execution, just for oppression. However, the brutality did not start immediately. What happened was slow bits of torture for 7 days, as the converts were being pardoned to choose between abandoning Christianity to live or choosing a fate that they saw coming. What you see is what they did to one by one of the prisoners. One would be picked and brutally tortured and placed back into the prison so that the rest would think twice before continuing with Christianity, but nothing changed. The king decided that they would be executed on 3rd June. Now, according to Buganda culture, a king does not shed blood, nor stay at the place where blood is shed, but he gives the orders. The prisoners were then tied in reeds, as you see, and set on fire after refusing to abandon their faith. Among them were 22 Catholics and 23 Anglicans. At Namugongo, many met death by fire, remaining steadfast in their beliefs until the very end. Many who witnessed what happened said that the martyrs never showed any fear nor cried, but rather sang hymns until the fire put them out. And it's from this that the greatest evolution of Christianity, not just in Uganda but East Africa, spread like wildfire. Because rather than eliminating Christianity, these executions strengthened it. The courage displayed by the Uganda Martyrs inspired many others to embrace the Christian faith, leading to rapid growth throughout Uganda and beyond. After years of political instability and religious conflict, Uganda became a British protectorate in 1894. The new political environment allowed Christian missions to expand more freely across the country. In 1895, the Mill Hill missionaries from Britain arrived to strengthen Catholic evangelization, particularly in eastern Uganda. At the same time, African evangelists carried the message into regions that foreign missionaries had not yet reached. Among the most celebrated was Apollo Kivebulaya, whose missionary journey took Christianity across western Uganda, northern Uganda, and into neighboring territories. Both Catholic and Protestant churches invested heavily in education, healthcare, and community development. They founded some of Uganda's most respected schools, including King's College Budo, Namugongo College, while also establishing hospitals and training centers. Through these institutions, Christianity became deeply woven in Uganda's education system, medical services, and national history, a legacy that continues to influence the country today. So guys, right now I'm seated just in front of Namugongo Museum, the Uganda Martyrs Museum. It's right behind me here. Now, the biggest question I've had is that what could have been the impact of this sacrifice these people went through? Now, if I was the kind of a person who was born in those times, and I hear that someone has actually gone through all that torture, all that pain, and died what they believe in, I would have been pushed to strengthen my faith. That's if I was a Christian those days. I would have pushed myself to strengthen my faith, because I feel like this had a very great impact to a point whereby popes had to come and witness what really went on. Now, according to the tour guide I had, of course she was free in the camera, but she told me that the actual believing and the beginning of Christianity in East Africa began from right here because of this. So for me, I feel like Uganda has a lot of impact on the whole of East Africa, and not just East Africa. This is a very big thing, because according to what she said is that very many martyrs are actually in Uganda compared to very many countries. So Uganda has the highest number of martyrs all over the whole world, which shows that the impact of Christianity, the impact of the sacrifice of the martyrs, has a very big impact on the Christianity religion across the whole globe. Because what I have seen happen inside there is crazy. Because they were cutting off it was like torture, and it was oppression. Like you either believe in your God or you believe in the king. Now, according to what she told me, is that, of course, as we all know, that before Christianity came in, we had a religion. We had, of course, people believing in very traditional religion and believing in small gods. Farmers believed in gods of rain and gods of farming and stuff like that. Hunters believed in whatever, like everyone had something they believed in, and it's because of that actually Christianity came in and pushed away all those things. Now, of course, I can't say that what Africans are believing in was a bad thing. Yes, Christianity came in and pushed away so many things, because according to what I read, the history I read is that there are very many things that are going on. It was torture and oppression. I also heard that if in case a woman gave birth to, of course, a lame child, a disabled child, they would be, of course, killed. In case a woman gave birth to twins, it was like a sin or like a curse. So when Christianity came in, it removed that inhumanity in people of killing babies and removing people who felt very odd from the rest of the people. So what Christianity did was redesign the mindset of people and make people a little bit more human, saying that kids who are born vulnerable, kids who are born and are disabled, are actually still human beings. They're just like us. So we need to really love them the same way we love each other and stuff like that. So shout out to Christianity. I'm actually a Catholic, so I'm really proud of what the martyrs did, because what they have done has put a very strong impact on very many people. Now in Africa, particularly Uganda, Christianity is a very big deal, because 80% of people are really suffering, and everyone is trying to have something that gives them hope. And the only biggest thing that gives people hope in Uganda here is Christianity. Never touch Christianity if you want to be safe in Uganda. People love their God. People love what they believe in. Now, of course, Uganda is home to very many religions. We have Anglicans, we have Catholics. There's so many. We have the Islamic community. Now there's a big community also growing up from of course the Eritreans. That's the Orthodox religion. It's also there. Then there's so many. Now in just Christianity alone, there's a lot of different sections. I had the Seventh-day Adventists. There's just a lot. So everyone is looking for something they can believe in. Everyone is looking for something which can give them hope. So, and that is Christianity. So Christianity is really a very big impact. No, what I'm saying is that Christianity has a very big impact on the society, on the communities, not just as a religion, but as a big sector. Because if you look at Catholics actually offer sponsorships to very many people. They provide education scholarships. They actually have a bank. There's so many community things they do. I've seen projects like planting of nature and stuff like that, like to boost the economy and of course protect the environment. There's so many things the churches do in society and community that is very, very important to people. So Christianity is a very big deal here in Uganda, and I know it's a very big deal also out there in Africa, because Christianity is one of the things that gives people hope. And there's no way you can have a community that has no hope. If you have a community which has no hope, then that's a dead community, because that's a community of killers, robbers, rapists. Like it's going to be a very inhuman community. But a community that is embracing Christianity actually embraces humanity, because Christians always believe in loving one another, forgiving each other, taking care of each other, unity and stuff like that. Guys, right now I'm at the well. The water you're hearing is right there. There. So one thing I want to say about the museum, like Uganda Martyrs Museum, the one that has like the history of the Uganda Martyrs. One thing I like about it is that it has embraced not just Christianity, not just the genre of Christianity, but it has also embraced like to showcase the Baganda culture. Now, the significance of this world to the Baganda is that, you see, worlds were places for courtship. This were where men would always meet the girls, and of course, it is through meeting that you get end up falling in love and stuff like that. So wells are very important. It's where girls used to come. Like when girls come around and fetch water, the boys would meet them. Of course, boys would be grazing and stuff like that. Would meet the girls at the wells, and then they end up dating and becoming, of course, husband and wife and stuff like that. So the significance of a well in the Uganda culture is really very, very important. Not just the Uganda culture, even us. For me, I'm an Itesuit, and even us, wells have that very big significance in our culture. So, but for the Uganda, that's what I've always had people say, that it was where people would always meet and do courtship. And of course, I mean, meet the love of your life. Nowadays, you guys meet lovers on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know what's wrong. How do you meet someone online? You might meet a bot, or you might be talking to AI. Alright, so usually every 3rd of June, this is where people always come around and of course hold very extensive prayers. Now, the very impressive thing about this is that people come all the way. Like, people come all the way from Kenya, Congo, Tanzania, very many countries, and they come walking. That's why very many of them are called like pilgrims and stuff like that. People come all the way. People begin traveling like 6 months to the D-Day, to 3rd June. People walk for years just to come and witness and celebrate the strength and resilience of our Uganda Martyrs. So right now I'm just at the center of the different buildings, but let me just adjust the camera so you guys are able to see the different structures here, just in case you've never been here. Now, a couple of guys, especially Ugandans, because you guys are very close to the place, you guys at least, very many have come here, but for those who haven't seen, I'm going to show you around, and then I'm going to show you the statues that are also outside there, because there's not why the statues are outside here, is because sometimes people are way too many to be in the museum at the same time, so they show you a small glimpse of us in the museum outside here. Yeah, so let me show you around. So on 3rd June, this place is way too packed. People all over here, and that's a statue, but I'll show you guys later. Let me first show you the buildings. So this is just how it is. It's a very big structure here, and I think they're adding another one just right behind there. So the importance and the significance of the Uganda Martyrs to the Christianity of Uganda is way too big. It actually gives very many people reason to believe in God, that if someone is able to shed their blood, and meaning there's something special about Christ, there's something special about the person people are preaching every day about. So it's not something simple to ignore. This is very important, not just to Uganda, but to very many people around the world. Yeah, so this is a structure. And by the way, let me tell you guys, if you think this place is big like this, but people can be here to a point whereby there's nowhere to stand, there's nowhere to pass, there's nowhere to sit. People will camp even outside the grounds. Yeah, so guys, right now I'm up, and this is how it looks like. But I feel like this is basically I don't know if it's the guy who was doing the killings, the guy right there, the guy who's being, I don't know whether they're serving him beer, water, blood, I don't know, because I have no tour guide right now. I came late, and yeah, but this is how it looks like. So because many of these guys are carrying tools, guys are having spears. I'm seeing one person there having an axe, and then there are spears behind. I think that must be the commander, the guy who does the killing. Yeah, so these are the spears.
So I think this is just a group of the guys who were doing the guillotine, and of course sacrificing of people. In case you don't believe in the king, in case you believe that there's someone bigger than the king, then you have to prove you really have faith in your person, and then but even if you proved, you're still going to die. So it's very, very, it was very frightening to be born in these times. Now there's something I want to show you guys. Have you seen, guys, whatever you're seeing that is red there, that's not cotton. Now the Baganda have a tradition of making backcloth. Long ago, guys used to put on backcloth, and yeah, so that's what backcloth looks like. It's always reddish in color, but of course, according to some people I've talked to, they said that backcloth, people found ways of changing colors. They would pick the tree, the bark of the tree, and then of course immerse it in particular different boiling liquids, and then to change color to yellow, to green, to blue, depending. Yeah, so that's it. So what you're seeing is not cotton. They were no clothes those days. It was just backcloth. So that's how it is. Let me get closer, and then I'll show you guys clearly how he looked to be. I've seen, but this guy looks like a killer. See, I swear, if they just asked you if you believe in God, look at this guy's face. It was not easy. Those boys really went through a lot. I believe that there's something that is way too powerful to fully understand what happened. I feel like we need to do more research in really what did the missionaries, what did the people do that made these boys really fully believe in Christ like that, because the amount of torture that they went through was way too immense. As you guys have seen the photos, have you guys have seen the shrine? There are very many things. They're cutting off their legs, and people were able to still believe that God is in existence and stuff like that. People believed in Christianity and stuff like that. So I feel like we need to do deeper research, understand what really backed up that resilience and loyalty to Christ. So as you're saying, everyone here is just carrying a tool. I don't see anything unique here. It's people carrying pangas. There's someone there right there. The guy there is carrying a panga, and then I don't know what that guy is carrying. I don't know what the guy is carrying. I don't really know. I don't know where this water is coming from. There's water all over here. I don't know whether it's coming from underground, but yeah, it is what it is. You see, that's the impact of Christianity. People come here to pray every now and then, to just reflect and talk to God. Man, people have problems, bro. Christianity is just one of the ways. Let me just flip this. Christianity is just one of the ways that people find hope in. People come here to pray and have that reflection in life, that life is gonna be better. Let me tell you guys, what you guys see on media, very many people are preaching the good side of a country, but 80% of people are suffering. 80, not even 80. Let me give you guys 90% of people are really suffering badly. Poverty and stuff like that. People have so many problems. So Christianity is a very important aspect in people's lives. It gives people hope. It gives people hope that tomorrow can be better. Tomorrow, if it's not me, it will be my children. If it's not me, to be another family. If it's not me, people in hospitals, people are struggling with school, people are struggling just to find where to sleep. So many single mothers, there's so much going on, but this is just one of the things that keeps people going. So there is always believe in God, always strengthen your faith and know that tomorrow can be better. If today is really bad, tomorrow is going to be better. Everyone has their own timing. So always believe in yourself and always be kind, love one another, and be there for each other. Because what is life without unity? Because you can't really go through this life alone. You need people. We are human beings. We are social beings. We always rely on each other. So always be kind, be neutral, and you'll have a good life. Because God never fails with people. God is always there for his people. So always be there for each other. I love you guys.
I'm gonna worship you with all my heart. I'm gonna worship you with all my strength. 'cause you're my purpose, Lord. I fix my eyes on you in every situation, Lord. I'll make you mine. I'll make you mine.